commit to the person in front of you. Commit to the moment. In that moment is a great opportunity to commit.
So
and then you commit to the team. And when you're selfless, guess what? It's about we, not me. And in the we, not me, everybody gets better. So we gets better and me gets better. So we live in a world that focuses on self-growth.
Yes, so much.
Personal self-growth strategies, but the greatest self-growth strategy of all is to help others grow.
Once again, I want to welcome you to the Lead to Win podcast, where we're helping leaders win in the areas that matter most. I want to welcome again, as always, Pastor Jeff, and this week a very special guest, John Gordon. So glad to have you here with us. John is a top 3 leadership author, speaker, and consultant. Author of 30 books. We're going to talk about your newest one in just a second, Pastor Jeff. I know you're excited to talk about that. Tremendous influence. You've probably heard his tips and his content on places like the Today Show, CNBC, Golf Channel, Fox and Friends, all across the place. We're so excited to have you here with us talking about how do we win in the areas that matter most.
Well, I'm so excited to have John here with us. John, we're both a part of a conference this week, but that's not the only time we've been together. We actually got to spend some time together here a few months ago, and I just respect you, thankful for you. Thank you for being a light in so many different arenas. I know the sports arena and business arena, and so we're just glad to have you here with us.
Thanks for having me. I love the way you coach others and you help them win. I mean, you are a coach when I think about you, and you really impact so many people to be better leaders.
Thank you so much. It means a lot coming from you. And we're here at Lead to Win. We're really stepping more into this space, and our hope is even this podcast can inspire somebody. It's always many times when I'm speaking, I'm thinking about the one. There's one person out there that maybe what we chat about today, which I love this because we talk about it behind the scenes, and it's the podcast format gives a chance for people to get a window into some of those conversations. And so if there's one person out there that we can help, I'm fired up about you also coming. We'll get all this out of the way. Then I want to talk about something I know everybody's going to be into today. You're coming in January to our Lead to Win gathering, and so that's at the Lead to Win website, leadtowin.com, and we're just excited to have you in that space.
I'm fired up to come to speak at that. Can't wait for that.
Because we'll have pastors, we'll have staff members. You've got, people that are leading a children's ministry, and they're trying to get volunteers, and they're working with teams, and so that's going to happen in January. We'd love to have everybody come and join us. You're coming out, though, with this book this year. We talked several months ago, and so this book, The 7 Commitments of a Great Team. And, man, there's so many things we could talk about, but I would say, I don't know if it's at the top. I mean, obviously, your own personal attitude and heart has got to be, and you've written about that, talked a lot about that attitude. But if you were to say pragmatically, for a business leader, a pastor especially, a team leader of some team is huge.
Team is everything. No one creates success alone. Right? You all need a team to be successful, and you need a team that makes you better. And you need a team that you are pouring into, investing in, and you're making them better. So as a leader, you have to go first, right? You have to lead the way. And when you demonstrate commitment to your team, you get commitment back. But a lot of times as leaders, we don't know how to build our teams. We don't know how to build a strong team. We may lead ourselves, but how do we lead others? And working with all the leaders I have over the years, I've seen the best. I've worked with the best, and I see how they lead teams. I see how they build their teams. And there really is a formula. There are commitments that you make. There are tools and strategies you can use. You know what's interesting? I was thinking about this the other day. I'm not the best leader. Like, I want to be better as a leader. I know I can improve myself in so many ways, but I know that my gift is helping leaders build their teams.
Good. Awesome. So what happens is, I'm thinking about the setting of speaking to pastors, and a lot of them will be listening to this podcast, or an up and coming pastor, a church planter, a person. There's so many teams within the ministry environments too. That's not just the person on the stage, right? There's the youth and the people parking cars, and there's all of that. And then also, marketplace leaders, what I find is they get excited about maybe whatever thing fits their personality or passion. You know what I mean? Yeah. The accounting person gets excited about the spreadsheet and I have been a senior pastor since I was 21, so I do speak to them very directly because I'm one of them. Yeah. They get excited about their message.
Right.
I mean, so many senior pastors, don't get me wrong, the message is important.
Right.
But my message to them is content will draw them, but it's care, commitment, and connection that keeps them. Right.
It's all about relationships.
It's all about relationships.
You will never have commitment without connection.
Yeah.
So the more connected you are,
it's good.
The more commitment you will generate.
Yeah.
And so it's all about connection. It's about building those relationships. And in a big way, you have to make sure you're connecting before you're correcting.
That's so good. Really good.
And so when you're connecting with your team, then you can correct. Then you can lead, because every team needs to get better.
Right. Sure.
One of the commitments is the commitment to getting better.
There you go.
So if I have to get my team to improve and help them grow, well, guess what? Correction is going to be a part of it, but you got to have the relationship first.
Exactly. So this template, okay, and maybe all 7 or however you want to just someone listening to this and they say, I got to get better at building a team, and I know, I mean, I'm continuing to grow because as the organization changes, as we've now gone to multiple sites, I don't have some of the things that I'm familiar with in terms of my strengths. I don't even have sometimes as much proximity to certain things. So we're all growing, but I do believe that there are people listening that really are saying, like, I got to get better at leading team. It's just I'm really stalled out or paralyzed, or my church or my ministry or my business. What's the template? Okay, give us the goods here.
Well, the interesting thing is I wrote the energy bus, and that's 10 rules to fuel your life, work, and team with positive energy. And then I wrote the power of positive leadership, which is practices and principles. And I think first and foremost, great leadership is about principles and practices.
Yes.
I think a lot of people talk about principles.
Right.
And if you have principles without practices, that's like having a set of plans, but you don't have the builders to build the house. So you need to have the builders, the tools.
Right.
You need to actually have the practices on what it looks like to build a team and build an organization.
Yes.
And I think we need to give leaders the tools to do that. So it's not just a framework. There's a framework there of principles.
Right.
And then there's practices that you do on a daily basis to build your team.
Yeah.
And for me, it always starts with culture.
Right.
And that culture is not just one thing, it's everything.
Right.
It's not just one person, it's everyone.
Right.
And the best way to create your culture is to say, what do we stand for? What do we want to be known for?
Right.
And people often say, well, how do we figure that out? I did this with a football coach the other day, actually. And I said to him, an NFL coach, I said, who are you looking for in a player? Who are you looking for? What are you looking for? What does that player look like? What do they act like? What kind of values do they have? And those values that you're actually looking for are your core values that you want in your organization.
Right.
It really was an easy way to think about it.
There you go.
And once you know what you're looking for and who you would want to bring onto your team, those core values are actually what you're looking for and will drive you in your organization. So what do we stand for? And I think today we have all these organizations with mission statements. Everyone has a mission statement. But only the great ones have people on a mission.
There you go.
So I'm starting to create my culture. We're going with vision and mission first. And that's actually the first commitment of the 7 commitments. It's you must commit to the vision and mission of the team. So the leader is talking about the vision and mission, or perhaps you don't even have one yet. You're coming up with it as a team together. And everyone now is contributing to the conversation. What do we want to create? Where do we want to go? What do we want to build? And then why do we want to do it? Like, what is our true mission? What's our essence that's going to drive us? And that's how you begin the process of this, of these commitments.
So I couldn't help but think, because we're here in Texas.
Yeah.
Okay. So we call that all hat, no cattle.
Okay. I like that.
You got a hat, you look the part.
Yes.
You just don't have any cows.
Right.
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 And so, and also I talk about aspirational values versus actual. And it's almost more dangerous to put up a set of values or mission statement.
Right.
You know, we love people, or we care, and you don't
you don't
really
live
like
them.
people,
Right.
You know, I mean,
No one else in the organization feels it, right?
Exactly.
It's on the wall.
Remember Enron?
Yes.
One of their core values was integrity.
Wow.
How did that go?
Exactly.
Didn't work.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you'd be better off to not even put a mission or value system that doesn't have congruency or integrity with who you actually are, you know? And I think that the discovery of that is important. We could talk about culture all day because,
we could.
You have to look in the mirror too, right? I mean, as a leader, that's a hard process, because you don't get what you want. You attract who you are.
Who you are.
Right.
And the essence of you.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I always tell leaders, when you want to create your culture and you're looking to build your culture and improve your culture, what essence do you want to share? What is the best within you? And then you got to share it.
Right.
And you got to live it.
Yeah.
But that culture needs to reflect who you are as a leader.
Right.
That essence must come from you and your leadership team. And we call this cascading leadership.
Okay.
Where you as a leader, you cascade this to your leadership team.
Right.
They understand the vision. They understand the mission. They know the core values. They know what the culture stands for. And then they start living it and breathing it. And then they cascade that down to their direct reports.
Right.
We often lose culture along the way because people aren't cascading it down the organization. And we usually lose it around mid-level of the organization, where you have a manager that's a manager, becomes a taskmaster, not really a leader, doesn't know how to lead, not living the values, not living the mission and vision, and then it doesn't come to life.
Right.
Often also on the front line as well, which is really important of organizations.
That makes sense. It's I in the energy bus reading about George and the gap between so fixated on outcomes but lacking the self-awareness. I know a lot of times both ministry and business, there's the gap, right? Like, I think I'm this kind of a leader, but I'm so focused on outcomes, I'm not actually thinking about becoming the kind of leader I'm trying to attract or to have on my team. Why do you think it's so hard? We want, like you were saying, even with the coach, we want this kind of a team player in our organization. Why is it hard for us to become that kind of a team player?
We want others to be committed, but we're not the committed one.
Right.
I always tell leaders, you have to go first.
That's right.
That's good.
You lead the way. They're looking around going, they're not committed. So-and-so's not committed. So-and-so's not committed. But are you committed?
Right.
Good.
And do they feel your commitment?
Yeah.
And so commitment recognizes commitment. And we often don't see it. I have a lot of people that will email me saying, my boss gave me the energy bus. My boss is the biggest energy vampire around, but said, you need to read this book. And said, you're either on my bus or off my bus.
Yeah.
And that's not the point of the book.
That's
It's not about that.
It's
The
true.
point is, no, be the leader they want to follow.
Yeah.
Be the leader that engages them.
Yeah.
Be positively contagious in a way that it is infectious to those that you're leading. And I was just asked the other day, like, what's the most important characteristic of a leader? And what does Dabo Swinney have, the coach of Clemson, that Sean McVay has, the coach of the Rams, and all these great coaches and leaders I work with? What do they have? And I really believe a great leader has that positive, infectious energy.
Yeah.
They may not even be, an extrovert, but they have this energy that they share that people feel. But they also feel the commitment of the leader.
That's
they
so
know
good.
this person, this leader, is actually for me,
Right.
cares about me,
Right.
and their agenda is you.
Yeah.
Their
There
agenda
you
is you and your growth, you and how you contribute to the company, you and how you contribute to the organization, so that we can all grow together. The minute they know that a leader is about themselves,
Yeah.
they're checked out.
They're checked out. Yeah.
They don't
That's so
trust.
true.
They don't trust.
Yeah.
It's really true.
They don't have buy-in. Nick Saban. Most people in the world know who Nick Saban is.
Right.
And the other day, I was thinking about the fact that I had a coach tell me that they worked for Nick Saban. They were an assistant for him. They said every day at the same time, he would pull out a candy bar and eat that candy bar at the same time every single day. Such consistency.
Right.
They said he was the most consistent person in everything they'd
Yes.
ever met. And I realized that's why he was successful. He often wasn't liked by his team.
Right.
We know Nick Saban is not always likable.
Sure.
But his team trusted him
Right.
Wow.
because he was so consistent.
Committed,
And I think it's more important to be trusted than be liked.
Wow.
Exactly.
Trusted and liked. They trusted him even though they might have thought, coach, he's negative. He's always yelling at me. I trust him because he's so consistent. I know what to expect from him.
Yes.
The leader that is positive one day, negative another,
Wow.
has one personality one day, negative the next, or another personality. You just don't know what to expect from that leader.
Right.
Then that leader loses trust because they're not consistent.
Wow. So good. So good. I mean, culture, it's everything.
Yeah.
Because
It really is.
when you talk about team,
Right.
teams are formed and live within a cultural ethos. And
Yeah.
you use the word essence. I like that. There's this essence of, and I think you're hitting on something so big that that if you know I want more for you than I want from you, like
That's good.
motives is so big in there. If I know coach is really ultimately about us as a team winning, it's not about him, it's about us, then you get a major sacrificial type environment going on. And a few things, I know this is so basic, but I'm surprised by how many people who manage people don't know this. Yeah. It's the number one reason why people leave work environments, leave churches. It's the direct manager person working with them. It's not even this great organizational whole. It's the culture that they're experiencing at that place.
People don't leave jobs, they leave people.
They leave people.
Wow. It's true.
And we have to understand that. And as a leader, if you're engaged with them, they're going to be engaged. They know you care about them. It's going to be hard for them to leave, even if they get a better offer, even if they get more money, because of that relationship and that engagement and that trust that you have. But you're right. As we know, it really is about the basic things.
Right.
So often we don't do the basic things, and we don't lead in the basic fundamentals.
Right.
But you do the fundamentals. Even as a football coach, you do the fundamentals, you're going to have a great team.
It's true.
You do the fundamentals as a leader, you're going to be a much better leader.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's really good.
Today in our worlds and space in church, there's this new term, church hurt, right? I've been hurt. And what's dangerous there is they can ascribe that. There's people we're pastoring and ministering to who there's a social kind of construct that they're saying the church. Well, first of all, Jesus' church,
right.
Okay? Now that is a whole different thing than my personal experience. So as you said, we got to be careful identifying with the church, and really it's people.
Right.
Just like a company, you say, you don't leave jobs, you don't leave companies, you leave people. Same thing in church.
It's true.
You're leaving a cultural construct, world, ethos that happened to be in a church or at a church, but it's not necessarily the church.
Right. Right.
There's a difference.
It's that building. It's the people in that building.
Exactly.
And maybe you didn't have a good experience with the people in that building.
Right.
But don't let Christians keep you from Christ.
Exactly.
It's really good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the leaders, though, listening, right, we have to work through the world we live in today. So being a leader of a great team today, it used to be where the pastor, primarily the congregation, was listening to the pastor.
Right.
Or the coach. I mean, I think about these college coaches now and the NIL and the portal and the social media and the inputs, like my high school coach, I mean, he was my coach. I didn't really, I wasn't going to get on the internet and listen to somebody else's playbook.
Right.
Now, talk about this for a minute, because leading a business or anything you're leading in a church, what do you do? I think we have to be better at commitment today because there's so many options and so many voices.
I believe the current situations, NIL and sports, in the workplace with a lot of choices to go, of companies to go work for, what we're realizing is it's making leaders become better.
They have to be better.
They have to engage.
Yes.
Right.
The younger people today want to have lunch with their CEO.
Yeah.
If they don't have lunch with their CEO, their mom's going to call. Just kidding, but maybe not.
Oh,
right? So you have to engage the younger people.
Right.
You have to engage people who want to know that you care about them, and they can trust you. And so leaders told me today, like years ago, people just did what I said.
Yeah.
But now I have to earn their trust, and I have to tell them why I'm doing it.
Yeah.
But that makes us better leaders.
I think so.
My model of positive leadership, which is really Jesus' model for leadership, is about engaging people, building relationships, sharing the vision, collaborative leadership. Dictatorial leadership no longer works.
Right.
It's about collaborative leadership. Where are we going together?
Right.
What do we want to accomplish together? Knowing it takes all of us and getting input. When I wrote The Energy Bus, the main character, George, basically says, here's my vision, who's on my bus, and this is where we're going. If I could write that again, George would have met with his team and said, basically, hey, what is our vision and where do we want to go together?
Exactly.
And I think it's important to get that buy-in.
Yeah.
So when people weigh in, they get more buy-in.
Yeah.
And they'll have more buy-in. So you got to get them to weigh in and feel like they're part of the process. And now with social media and with people commenting all the time and everyone's now a contributor, people are used to now putting in their opinions.
Right.
So true.
And being heard. And so you have to be a curator of that. And guess what? You actually have to care what people think and say.
You do.
You do.
You can't let it drive all of your decisions. You have to be clear on who God's called you to be.
Yes.
And but you do have to consider it. Anyone who I say, I don't care, they're out of touch with leadership.
Right. And let me clarify on that. When I say care what people think and say, a lot of times as a pastor, you can be only focused on your message.
Right.
What you're learning.
Yes.
And I'm having to do this as well. I have a circle, I have a community of leaders that I lead now, and I'm so used to just being about me and what I'm saying, and now it's about, so what do you think about that? What can I learn from you?
Yeah.
And tell me about that. And so I'm actually learning and listening and going, oh, that's a gem here. That's a gem there.
Right.
Because you could be so focused on your thoughts and your
really
message.
good.
So now actually engaging others and learning from others, I think is a key part of great leadership as well.
It's one of my big messages to pastors, and I talk about being a shepherd and being a pastor and being accessible. Now, obviously, as a church grows, there's certain things that you are not accessible to because you're only one person, but there's a spirit and a heart, even like, say, standing in the foyer on the weekend and shaking hands. I've learned that there are a few people who will shake hands with me, but the people who even walk by and recognize that I am a part of the family and I'm not living in an ivory tower, gives them a sense of trust toward me, right? And so you have to be, but I've learned this by me being a pastor and not just a influencer or a speaker makes me better when I do speak.
Yes.
Because I know my audience.
Yes.
I'm not talking about theory.
Yes.
I shook their hand last
Yes.
week.
And they told you something.
With me, my kids, or this is where I'm at, or I mean, I'm constantly, I know a lot of guys have to do a lot of surveys.
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't have to survey so much if you actually knew your people.
Right.
I like that.
It's really true.
I like that. That is really good.
I think it's underestimated sometimes because I'm on the team. I think you know this. You're my team leader, but I'm on the team because you're a learner. And I watched that before I was on your team. Yeah. Watch the way that you learn. What you're talking about, really, and what you were sharing, building consensus. Not, I'm going to go meet with these people because I have to and I'm just going through the motions. You genuinely want to know. Yeah. And a leader who communicates to people, I'm trying to learn, I'm trying to get better. People who learn while they lead, they do build trust, like you're saying.
We have a certification program now where we certify people to deliver our programs. When they sign up a certification, I call everyone personally.
Wow.
Everyone. So I have a conversation with them. Why'd you get certified? Tell me what you want to do with it.
It's amazing.
I'm learning so much from these conversations. It is hard to do this.
It is, yeah.
It takes a lot of time. They now have my cell number when I call them.
Are they surprised when you call
them? Yes. Well, they're expecting it, but they're still surprised. Yeah. But I have great conversations with these people. And to your point, I am now learning from them, and it's giving me great information for marketing. Who's our key person? Why are they getting certified?
So good.
It's allowing me to understand our business even better. So overall, it does make you better. The event that we're both speaking at now while I'm here in town, I just did that event today. And I asked him, can I come off stage for a little bit? And the guy said, the audience loves when you come off stage to be with them.
Right.
And I think it's the same thing as a pastor. You can't just be on stage.
Yeah.
You got to come off stage and be with them. Don't be the guy on the video. Be the guy they see in person and could talk to and learn from. And I love that you do that.
Well, I want to ask you this question, okay? Team, and again, a lot of our listeners are ministry leaders, okay? And obviously there's the staff team, right? And then you have your congregation is your team.
Yes.
I mean, they're on it, but there's a specific area for pastors that I found is there's an intimidation. They want to learn more about it. and that is working with marketplace leaders. Like you're here because I was friends with you and connected you with some of our marketplace guys because I wanted to add value to them through my friendship with you. And so I have relationships with these marketplace leaders. And a lot of times there's a big divide between a pastor and I think it's the enemy, because those people need a pastor.
They do.
They need this. They need transfer. And so they need it. The business leader needs that relationship. And the pastor, I've learned so much because 30 years I've hung out with business guys. So when I communicate about something in our church, about a building project or something, I don't look like this dumb guy who doesn't know what's going on, because they ask hard questions. I'm better.
Oh, yeah.
What would you say, though, because a being team, talking about a ministry leader, being team with, let's just say, leaders in general, like the people that can move the ball are not looking for something to do. How do we as ministry leaders be team with these people who live in a different world than us and we could be intimidated?
The key is to move from isolation and disconnection to connection.
That's great.
To build those relationships, build those bridges. A lot of times there's two different languages. Business language and church language are different. You have to learn their language. But you also have to reach out and lend a hand. You also have to engage. You think that business leader doesn't need help. They do.
They do.
Leaders need a team. Because a leader who is lonely is a leader who won't make a good decision at times. A leader who is lonely or alone will feel isolated and then will not be their best because they feel disconnected. So leaders need teams. They need other people. They need counsel. So what I would say is you provide a tremendous value to that business leader because they need counsel. They might be struggling in their marriage. They might not have a relationship with their kids. They might be very successful in the business world, but they might be struggling at home. And we believe, where I work, my team, my organization, if you're a failure at home, you're a failure. Doesn't matter how much success you have. So they need to get counsel. They need that counsel, and they also need spiritual nurturing and encouragement. And you could provide that because so often they do feel disconnected. They don't have a relationship with God. They're not praying. They're not taking the time to really connect with God. And over time, that disconnection from God will wreak havoc on their life and their soul and ultimately their decisions. So you have so much to offer them. They don't need you to be a business leader.
No.
They don't need you to know business like they do. Right? And you don't need them to be a pastor. You complement each other.
Really good.
And so it's about, hey, let's get coffee together. How can I help you? How can I serve you? What's going on in your life? Just get to be a friend. Just develop a friendship and be friends with them and be there for them is how the process begins.
We're back to the same thing, though, right? It's back to the commitment. If my motive is I want to commit to serve you and to help you, then the relationship begins to have a trust. That's great. What you said earlier. If that business leader picks up that you're there to raise money or your deal and you have an angle, or they can smell that a mile away, right?
You have to say to yourself as the pastor, will I pour myself and my time and energy into this business leader even if they never give a dime?
It's really good.
Am I willing to do that?
Yeah.
Am I willing to commit to that?
Yeah.
And we know that Jesus would.
He would.
But will you?
Exactly.
And it requires us to be selfless,
exactly,
which is hard to do.
Yeah.
Because we do want that support. We want that financial contribution. But myself, even as a business leader, the minute I feel that from a pastor, we will not have the same trust.
Right.
If I know that you actually just, are there for me and you want to be there for me.
Yeah.
You're not looking for something.
Exactly.
And I love when pastors have not asked me for a dime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I know God convicts me to give.
Yeah.
Like you have to trust in God. God's gonna.
You already have. They
God's
already
gonna
have that motivation. That's how God made them. So, But that's a. But ways to add value. Here's what I've learned. A simple text to a business leader during the week. This morning I woke up, I was praying, and I would like to just send you this verse.
Right.
I mean, that is a drink of water to somebody in the battle that you offer as a pastor, because it carries weight with them. You're like, well, this guy knows about the Bible. Here's a verse. Coming to their place of business and being genuinely interested, meaning to learn from them. Hey, what are you doing with your team? Tell me, let me pray over your business or your leaders. There's so many practical ways that aren't really that complicated that you can really add a lot of value.
Here's the simplest. You text and say, how are you doing?
Yeah.
That's it. How are you doing? They might say, good. I'm doing great. Okay, awesome. Just checking in on you. That simple text of how are you doing goes a long way. I have done this for coaches over the years, NFL, college coaches who I've spoken to and spoke to their teams. Keep in touch with them. And I just say, how are you doing? And there have been times, can we get on a call?
Wow.
Many times it's, I'm doing great. Or not doing so good. Don't feel like talking right now. Okay, that's great. But how are you doing? And those calls in those most opportune times, God-ordained times, have been magical, incredible, and transformative. And at the right time when they need you and you're there, boom.
Yeah.
That's where the relationship really develops, when they know that you're there in the moment that they need you. And guess what? That leader, their kids probably need you.
Yeah.
Their kids are probably struggling. So offer to help the kids in some capacity. Again, you're just providing a support, an environment, an opportunity that if you need something, we're here to serve, we're here to help. And again, it starts with a friendship and getting to know each other. And don't even make it awkward. Just like, let's just hang out and talk.
Yeah.
And it's that simple.
So you have this team book. So I just released a book about win with people, but it's a message specifically to ministry leaders to be a shepherd. Return to the call of a shepherd. And when I was writing the book, I learned that we have a false perspective of shepherds.
Right.
And that is that they're just this isolated, shepherd out there with a lamb around their neck, but actually
by themselves.
By themselves.
Just a few little sheep. Yeah.
But when we started researching it, they have to understand weather and navigation, and they end up many times as a team of shepherds or in being effective. They know how to deal with predators, get close enough. David, when he was dealing with the predator, was close enough to grab it by the hair. What did you in writing, because I'm saying this to say when you get in, you have this truth or this principle and you start down the path, out of your book, I want you to hold it up so everybody can see it too. This beautiful cover and pretty.
Yeah.
But the seven commitments of a great team, when you dug in this, because you've been working with teams and coaches
for a long time.
But when you got into it, what were a few of your, oh wow, what really stirred you? What did you learn in it?
The commitment to valuing each other on a team. That came at the end.
Okay.
If you don't value each other, then you're not going to do any of the other commitments. Okay. So you have to see the value in someone else. What happened was I didn't have the ending, and I was talking to my co-author of The Coffee Bean, Damon West. And Damon had been in prison. And I said, Damon, tell me about the most effective team building exercise you've ever done. He goes, well, John, I don't do team building exercises, but let me tell you about the best exercise I've ever seen. And it was in prison. And he said, we had these prisoners sitting in a row, and the free men came from the outside, and they took buckets of water, and they washed their feet.
Wow.
And as they washed their feet, these men, these hardened criminals, began to cry and weep. And they then wanted to return the favor and then wash the feet of the free men. And I said, why is that so powerful? What really happened there? For the first time, these prisoners who don't have value in a prison felt valuable. And because they felt valuable, they then in turn wanted to value the people who washed their feet.
That's so good.
And I said, well, we can't wash people's feet in work. That might not be the thing that we can always do it in the workplace or corporate America. I work a lot with corporate America, but how can we, as a team, demonstrate value to each other? And how, as a leader, demonstrate that you value your team members?
Right.
And so in the book, the leader starts to send out these personal videos one by one to members of the team saying how much they appreciate them. So I created an acronym for value, and it's validate, it's appreciate, it's listen, understand, and empathize.
Wow. Okay.
And so as you do that, people will then feel that you value them and they will feel valued. So to me, that was like a big eye opener for me. And then the commitment to each other. Like, you can have the great vision, you could have the great mission, but ultimately what it comes down to with great teams is there's actually a commitment to the person.
It's true. Yeah.
So I've been telling teams a lot lately, commit to the person in front of you. Commit to the moment. Like, in that moment is a great opportunity to commit.
So good.
And then you commit to the team. And when you're selfless, guess what? It's about we, not me. And in the we, not me, everybody gets better. So we gets better and me gets better. So we live in a world that focuses on self-growth.
Yes, so much.
Personal self-growth strategies, but the greatest self-growth strategy of all is to help others grow.
That's so true.
So the minute I help my team improve, I get better.
Yes.
Yeah.
I improve. You said the minute you start helping and speaking to your congregation, you get better. Yes, it takes more time, more energy, more effort. But here's the other thing. Commitment's going to cost you something.
It is, yeah.
Always, yeah.
Time, energy, effort, vacations. It may cost you something major. It may cost you something small. But it's going to cost you something. But you get so much more when beyond that cost.
That's really so good. So all the commitments basically are fulfilled. I'm just repeating back to you what you said. By this value, this way you value the other person. And so it could be said, you'll never build a great team if you don't value people.
Right.
If you don't really value people, you're never going to be a great team leader.
Because you're not going to commit to them and they won't commit to you.
Right.
You can't do it because the book says so, or I got to check the box that I need to care today.
There you go. Yeah.
I'm supposed to care, so I have to care.
Right.
Going back to essence,
Right.
it comes from the heart.
It comes from the heart.
So if there's a heart of value, an essence of I see you, I value, I recognize you, I appreciate you, well, then they're going to feel that. Even with AI, we know it's the human feeling that's important.
It's true. It's so important.
It's really true.
I keep thinking about something as we've talked to culture, teams. You have to be willing to also recognize that this person is not a team player. They don't want to be on this team, or maybe they just want to wear a different jersey or something like that. And you know what? You can still value that person even if they're not called to be on your team.
Yeah.
True.
You know, and say, how can I help you? Because I'll tell people a lot of times with church, we know our value. We love you.
Yeah.
But we don't have to be on the same team.
Right.
You know, there's plenty of churches. You
Right.
know what I mean?
Right.
Why would you live your life miserable?
Right.
Because one thing that's not going to happen, we're going to keep our culture.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Wherever I go speak, people leave or are fired.
Okay.
It's true. But it's always a great thing because the people that are not meant to be on that bus get off or asked to get off. And everybody gets better because maybe often that person is not meant to be on your team. They're meant to be on another team. And when that happens, we don't do this in churches enough because we don't want to let someone go.
Right.
We think everyone should stay on.
Right.
But no, maybe that person is meant to be on another bus somewhere else, another team.
Right. Yeah.
I believe you give them every chance to get on. Talk about, is there alignment with vision and mission, and can we accomplish this together? But it's okay to say, as you said, we're meant to be perhaps on just different teams.
Yeah.
But in marriages, you always have to remember, you're on the same team.
There you go. That's true.
That's the key with marriages. Like, too many marriages act like they're on two different teams.
Right.
And for them, it's about, no, you have to join together to be on the same team. I had one guy email me and said, hey, my wife's an energy vampire, but kicking her off the bus is not an option.
Very true.
What do I do?
Yeah.
And it's about common vision and mission, alignment of values.
It is.
Where do we want to go? What do we want to achieve together? Really having the difficult conversations that every team needs to have. So often we have issues on our teams because we don't have the conversations in order to get better. And so things start to surface, things start to actually cause division and disconnection.
Right.
And if we don't deal with those things, the gap becomes a canyon.
I would say to the man, a lot of times, I mean, the scripture's pretty clear, love your wife like Jesus loves us.
Right.
So she may be an energy vampire because she's responding to the deficit
right.
of your lack of affirmation
that's good.
and care. Because I'll have guys say, well, my wife is crazy. I'm like, well, what does that say about you? Because you married her or made her that way. Okay? So let's not get too much into the blame here.
Right.
You have a big part to play in the culture you're creating. And that is true. The home, the family, it's all a team.
All a team.
Your work is a team. And I love that. In ministry work, I don't think we are clear enough a lot of times about vision. I've been doing this a long time, and in the last probably 7 years with our church, with our team, vision weekends. I've realized because vision does leak, but in our world today, it's also replaced. The vacuum that used to be there, it would just leak and be empty, but now it's two visions, which is division. The word division means two visions. So I'm realizing the division comes from me not owning the responsibility to continue to clarify, to have the conversations, to talk about our culture,
That's so good.
And that's the responsibility that we have.
Right. That goes to the most important thing a leader can do it, and that's provide clarity.
That's really good.
Like that clarity of vision is essential for a leader to provide and share with their team. That team wants to know where are we going, and also roles. What is my role? How can I contribute to this vision every single day? When people don't have a clear path to how they contribute to the vision and the mission, you have a lot of disengagement. And then you start to have misery on the job.
Right.
When people know they're contributing to it, engagement soars.
It's true.
So as a leader, provide the clarity, provide the vision.
The hope is, though, we can get better.
Yes.
In other words, we don't have to just say, you know what, my team is terrible, my ministry's terrible, my everything. We can actually be proactive.
Oh yeah.
And say, you know what, I'm going to grow here. I want to be better. And I really believe that people today are smarter than we give them credit. So in your ministry, your business, whatever, they're not dumb, right? And they listen to you, but they want to go see your team. Like your team actually is the reflection of how good a leader you are. That's why I'm so thankful for this book.
Your team is that fruit.
They are really that fruit.
And if you're not investing in that root,
that's exactly
you're not going to get a great supply of fruit.
It's true.
And I love that because you meet a lot of people and you don't know if they're a great leader or not because you haven't seen their team. And how does their team respond?
They may speak real well. They may look real good, but go talk to their team.
Right. And that's why I love sports, because when you watch sports, you can see.
You're going to find out.
Right away.
Yes.
The world is watching you on TV. What kind of team do you have? Most corporations, people are not seeing it. They don't know.
Can't see it.
But you watch sports, you can tell whether that team has chemistry, whether they're connected, whether the leader has done a good job, whether they have buy-in, whether they like each other. You can tell all of that. And I've been saying this a lot lately with these teams. It's like, if your team isn't good, it's either they suck or you suck as a leader.
Probably a little bit of both.
Is it okay to say suck?
No, that's
like
you did.
But either they suck or you suck. Either way, you need to improve as a leader, or you need a tool to help your team improve. But either way, improvement is needed, and perhaps it's both.
Yes, it could be a little bit of both.
Because and I could say that knowing there was a time when my team at home was really struggling, and I looked at my team. I said, I want a different team. I called it Billy Donovan. Billy, have you ever wanted a different team? And Billy Donovan was the coach of the Oklahoma City Thunder at the time. And he's like, I wanted a different team at times. He goes, but John, you have the team you have for a reason. They're meant to make you a better leader.
That's good.
And so at the end of that year, after wanting a different team and deciding to commit to my team, to make them better, and really be engaged and be a servant leader. I changed as a parent that year, changed as a husband, became a servant leader. At the end of the year, I realized I didn't need a different team. I need to become a better leader.
That's really good.
I was the one who sucked.
Yeah.
And now my team is doing so much better because I poured into them.
Great.
I invested in them. Going back to the very beginning of our conversation, you said, how come they don't see it? We need leaders to be able to talk to their teams and say, how am I doing on a scale of 1 to 10? How committed am I to you? On a scale of 1 to 10, how well do I connect with you? On a scale of 1 to 10, how well do I communicate with you? And some people will tell you what you want to hear. Some will tell you what you need to hear. And the leaders I've had do this at the highest level, their teams come back and report, and it makes them better. If we're open to the feedback? Or what's really it like to be led by me?
Yes.
But I love the 1 to 10. I'll say to my wife on a scale of 1 to 10, how much would you like to be married to me? That's always dangerous.
Yeah. Buckle up. You said it.
No, I did that with my senior team, and then I got some of them. I'm like, I need to figure out how to get this was anonymous. You know? And I'm like, surely I can find out. So I'll call the company and find out who, because I need to know who said this. One of mine was when I overreact. I learned in the process it's related to fear.
Yes.
And one of the fears I have is people being hurt. So for me with my team, they would take it as I was reacting to them, but I was actually reacting to the behavior that we might exhibit that could hurt other people.
Right.
And that helped us as a team by me being willing to have some of that evaluation, which I think is, that becomes challenging for a lot of leaders to be secure enough to go, let's just really get honest about how we're really doing. And that's why I talk about looking in the mirror, right? To be a great leader of a great team is really admitting you're the one producing a lot. It's coming from you and your perspectives and your attitude and who you are, and we just have to own it. So, John, thank you. Thank you for writing this book. I know you'll start to speak more and more on it, and we're looking forward to having you in January at the Leaders Gathering, and I'm going to have you. The team concept is going to be our whole theme. So I'm asking every pastor, every church teams, their youth teams, their children's teams.
Great.
We just, that's when they come and we just serve them and give them tools. But this is going to be our theme, team leadership for our January gathering.
I love talking about this topic, my favorite topic I've ever talked about. Like, I get passionate, I get excited, because when we get a team to commit together and we talk about the commitment to staying positive, the commitment to getting better, didn't share all that we're going to talk about, but when we do that, man, and you see everyone's eyes open,
light up, and
everyone knows we're not doing that, and we need to do that, because everyone talks about goals today.
Right.
Outcomes.
No, let's talk about commitments.
It's really good.
Commitments lead you to your goals.
Yes, it's really good.
You have a vision, great. You have a vision. We need to share the vision, but it's your commitment that will lead you to realizing the vision.
Really
so we need commitment, and this is going to teach every pastor how to build a team that is committed to each other.
It's going to be a great time. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you.
Thanks
for having us.
Well, I want to thank you both. I feel like we got better as a team as a result of this conversation. We hope you'll join us all at the Lead to Win gathering January 6th and 7th, where we're going to learn more from these guys. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next time.
I want to say thank you for checking out this episode of the Lead to Win podcast. I want you to know that I love and my team loves getting this kind of content into your life so it can help you lead and win at what matters most. So I'd love for you to do me a favor, like, comment, especially subscribe if you would, so that we can make sure that we're able to get to you some of the things that are going to help you lead to win.